Welcome to Cliffhangers and Cocktails podcast with Amy Sissel, that's me, and my delightful co-host, Shéa McLeod.
That's me.
We are USA Today bestselling authors of paranormal women's fiction, among other things. And this podcast is brought to you, as always, by the Caftan Coven.
Yay. Today we are going to be talking with author IRIS BEAGLEHOLE about real magic, as well as, of course, her books, both fiction and nonfiction. And we'll also be talking about, of course, the usual drinkies, witchy things, and general shenanigans.
Yay!
Yay! Shenanigans. Of course, we always start with an affirmation. That's our dealio. Since we're talking in this episode about self-love and shadow work and self-healing, I wanted to pick something that went along with that. So this is a great self-love, self-healing affirmation. I love, respect, and believe in myself.
I think I need to just write that on my bathroom mirror, so I see that all the time.
It is a good reminder, because we do have so many voices coming at us to tell us the opposite, especially if you don't fit the supposed beauty standard, or if you don't fit the patriarchal BS vision of femininity or whatever. But even then,
if you're new to the pod, you may not know how Shéa feels about the patriarchy.
I might have mentioned it once or twice.
So I feel that way too.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, it's not just Shéa. I'm not like, go patriarchy, woo!
No, my entire Instagram algorithm right now is witchy things, down with the patriarchy, up with the matriarchy, and very weird niche music. Very weird. And cocktails. Also cocktails. Yeah. So once more, I love, respect, and believe in myself.
That's awesome. And I know that every single one of you out there now does too.
Do it.
Write it on your bathroom mirrors in dry erase marker.
Or get a sticky note and write it on there and slap it on mini sticky notes. Put them all over your house.
I have a sticker. I'm sure you've seen them. Those little silver stickers, that little rectangles that say "You are beautiful."
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have 50 of them, and I have one on my laptop. Get some stickers like that and put them on your computer. Put them somewhere where you'll see it all the time on your phone case or your water bottle. Because you know what, y'all are amazing.
Yes, you are amazing. We love, honor, and believe in you. Like I said, we're talking to Iris today about self-love, self-healing, all that sort of thing. I thought it would be fun to talk about crystals and herbs for self-love and shadow work to support your inner journey. She's written some amazing books. I mean, she's got her whole witchy series, several actually witchy fiction series, but she's also written a couple books on. There's one I think it's literally called Self-Love Magic, learning to love yourself and connect with yourself and your witchy badassness. And then she's got one that's more on shadow work, which that's the one I'm kind of working through. But we haven't talked about magic rocks very much lately.
We haven't. We talked about magic rocks a lot at the beginning, and then
that kind of went by the wayside.
We just didn't.
We got busy with other things, I think. But
there's so many things.
Yeah, but there's so many magical rocks and herbs and things that can assist you with this sort of journey of self-love and healing. Of course, we all know about rose quartz. I mean, maybe we don't, but it's a beautiful, beautiful pink stone that's the classic crystal for self-love. I mean, you just look at it and it looks like a love crystal,
It really does. I have a little heart-shaped one that Siam gave me once.
Yeah.
Before we were friends, before we were coven friends, I got when I was merely a massage client.
Mm.
And she gave me a little rose quartz heart. And I've
Aw.
since lost the index card that it came with that
Yeah.
said something nice on it.
Yeah.
But I still have my tiny heart-shaped rose
Oh.
crystal. It's on my altar.
But it literally is known as the love stone. And it has a really gentle energy. It, connects with your heart chakra, like helping open it to giving and receiving unconditional love and fostering self-love and attracting aligned love, whether it's friendship or romantic. So, and like, I know Sam probably does this with crystal healing, but a lot of crystal healers and people that work with the chakras use rose quartz for that heart chakra. It's pretty classic. So, I wonder though, are there other powerful crystals for self-love?
I'm sure there are, Shéa. A couple might be. Sorry.
I didn't want to just go off. You know me, I can go off on a monologue if you don't like rein me back.
I know. I was ready for. I was letting you monologue. You know more about crystals than I do. I was sitting there. I was prepared for the herbs. I was ready for it. But I can. Yeah. I know more crystals because you wrote them down for me.
Okay, well then I will go on and talk about the crystals then, because you are ready for the herbs. So, rhodochrosite is, I think if I remember, it was kind of a reddy purpley, I don't know. It's for healing your inner child and boosting your sense of self-worth. So if you struggle with your sense of self-worth, or you have a lot of past trauma from childhood that kind of affects you, that's a good one. Rhodonite, I have that actually in a necklace, and it is an emotional healer that helps.
What does it look like?
I think it's like a reddish purple. Hang on, rhodonite.
We'll have pictures of all of this on our socials.
Yeah, it's like a dark reddish pink kind of a color.
Cool.
It's really pretty. It's an emotional healer that helps with self-forgiveness and releasing past pain. And they also, the necklace that I have, there's like 3 different crystals in it. Rhodonite's one of them. And it's actually meant for physical pain. So it works really well with other crystals to address all aspects of pain. Green aventurine, which I have right here on this ring.
That is such a beautiful ring. Will you pop a picture of that into the drive?
I will.
So I can share it with us.
Yes, it's green. So it's just a simple green aventurine stone in this silver ring, which is one of my favorite rings. And green aventurine is one of my favorite stones. It's a beautiful green color, sort of. It tends to kind of be a little bit of a lighter green, but it's got, again, soothing energy. It promotes harmony, compassion, and comfort within your own heart. During these times of nonsense and malarkey, having a stone that offers you peace and comfort and just gives you peace in your heart is, I think, really it's certainly important for me. And one more is white moonstone. Now this is like such a badass, like, feminine stone. Moonstone is like the feminine stone, and it's for radical self-acceptance. It's calming, it's healing, it helps you to connect with the divine feminine. It's a crown chakra stone, and it like helps you sort of move with the natural rhythms of life, because it's tied to that moon energy and that feminine energy, which, ancient peoples, that was, the cycle. They moved with life's rhythm instead of creating an artificial one. And this kind of white moonstone kind of harks back toward that. If you want more information about crystals for self-love, because there's so many, I'll pop Amy will pop a link into our show notes. Juliet Christine has a really great blog about crystals, and one of her posts, she lists quite a few, and I found that really helpful. There's also herbs.
There
So,
are herbs.
herbs, yeah.
Yes.
So tell
So
us.
there's a lot of different herbs that
Mm-hmm.
can support you as you're working through your journey of self-love and support. A few that come up over and over when you Google this are Tulsi, which is also known as holy basil, which is it's from Ayurvedic practices,
Mm-hmm.
and it is known as the most sacred plant in the world. I
Oh,
don't have a source for how that is known, other than I've seen it on two websites, but they don't cite their sources.
aha.
But when I finish talking about the herbs, I have something I want to add to that. Tulsi is supposed to infuse you with divine energy for your body, your mind, and your soul. Hawthorn, hawthorn flowers, especially, carry a symbolic message of love and compassion. Hawthorn is very often associated with the heart, and
Mm-hmm.
so it can help open your heart chakra, which can foster more self-love as well as compassion for the world and interconnectedness. Chamomile, I mean,
Yeah.
many of us know that chamomile is recommended as a soothing ingredient in tea.
Indeed. I have many teas
Rose,
with chamomile in them. Rose.
rose, it's a
Ooh.
perfect herb for self-love. I don't know if it's
Mm.
an herb. I'm just reading now. It brings a strong heart connection. It helps heal the heart, open the heart, and bring in more love. Strawberry leaf and strawberries are symbols of self-love and growth. Anything that you associate with love
Yeah,
doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be self-love. But
absolutely.
strawberries also embody renewal and emotional healing. And then
Mm.
skullcap offers serenity, and it's another calming herb.
Okay.
And then oat straw is nourishing, and it can help soothe and calm your nervous system. So there's a lot of different ways these can be used, and not all of them can be used in the same way.
Yeah.
But tinctures, teas, water infusions, baths, in the body, on the body, I guess near the body, are all different things, and it kind of depends on what part of yourself you want to nourish and
Mm-hmm.
love. There's things that'll work better on the nervous system. Lavender
Oh, yeah.
and the Tulsi, the holy basil, can really help with calming the nervous system
Mm-hmm.
and promoting that relaxation. The heart ones like rose, cacao is listed because they
Oh,
have compounds in them that help do mood lifting
right.
and help with the heart, and they support connection and pleasure, and that's really good for your heart. And then there's
Ah.
things for resilience, and that's things I haven't mentioned yet, like ashwagandha,
Mm-hmm.
which can help kind of slow your mind down a little bit sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
know some people take it to help them sleep, and it can
Mm.
help you kind of reconnect with your body when you're exhausted. If you need to, this says here on this website that I found, digestion is often overlooked, but you must love yourself from the inside out. So this is looking at things like chamomile, which is
Mm-hmm.
soothing for the mind and for the body, marshmallow root, dandelion root. And then the best thing you can do is just to take time for
Mm.
yourself. It
Yes.
should be a daily practice.
Self care, daily practice. It's not just about getting your nails done. Although no shade if you want to get your nails done if that's your
No,
self
do
care.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
If
also simply about taking time to nourish yourself in all ways, like
Yep.
physical,
And if
mental,
that's how
emotional.
you get your alone time, and if
Mm.
that's what helps you restore and reset, then that's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. But
The
you
one
don't
thing I want to get,
have to.
oh,
Like some
no,
people feel this pressure like I must do this thing to do self-care.
there's no must.
No, there's no must. Self-care could be a
Oh,
walk in the park or whatever.
the only must is you must find something.
Yes.
But
But you do
maybe
you, boo.
whatever works for you. Yes, you do
Yeah.
you, boo. I did want to say that we're probably starting this autumn in 2026,
Mm-hmm.
starting with our minisodes, we're going to start working in some stuff on plant and green witchery. And
Mm.
so, well,
Nice.
I have a lot of stuff to say about how herbs can be used to support yourself and your magical journey, as well as your
Love
self
it.
care journey, so that you're ready to take over the world with us.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
look for that starting this fall when we start transitioning away from our witch's liquor cabinet and into
Woohoo!
our witch's spice cabinet
I'm excited. But I do want to make
and patio garden.
a patio garden. Yes. I do want to make a quick note. We are not
Oh,
medical practitioners. So if
I
you
am. I am not.
so we're not, don't consider in, nothing that we say is medical advice. You need to seek a medical opinion before you start treating mental health with something or whatever.
Oh,
um,
yes. Don't.
yeah, and also if you're going to start taking an herb or something like that internally, you can put them, you can wash in them or put them on your windowsill. That's no problem. But if you want to like take ashwagandha or something like that, or tulsi, or even like dandelion root or something, any of those things, if you're taking them internally, you need to speak to a medical professional first, particularly if you're on medications, because some of those things can interfere with certain medications. So you want to make sure that you do that.
And there are also, yeah, I was going to say, there's also fabulous resources out there, medically sound, fabulous resources that will help you find contraindications.
Yeah.
If you are a person in the United States and you cannot get your doctor to talk to you about contraindications with your medication, pharmacists are a great resource for that as
yes,
well.
they are.
But a lot of Western doctors are not going to be good at knowing contraindications between medications that they prescribe that are Western medicine and herbs and herbal supplements that are not. If you're having a cup of chamomile tea, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But if you're starting like some kind of, I don't know, holy basil,
Hosey basil,
holy basil, I don't know, ritual.
Yeah.
And when I've taken ashwagandha, it has been with the knowledge and advice of my psychiatrist. It didn't work for me, but some people like it. So just make sure that you are going into this with open eyes and doing the best research for yourself. And it is good to get a medical practitioner involved if you are on prescription medications.
Yes. And I will say in the state
I am not a psychiatrist.
No. I will say in the state of Oregon, other states not so much, but in the state of Oregon, naturopaths are legally treated the same as MDs. And so they have the same. They're also allowed to prescribe medications, not just herbs. So they do know. Naturopaths are really good at knowing contraindications between these things and what things will work together okay. So if you have that option, that's a great option as well. But I just want to throw that in there because I want to make sure people, are
don't
not
sue us.
Yeah.
Oh, don't harm themselves
on
their journey to help themselves.
Exactly. So today's drinks, speaking of self-care and herbs.
So usually our guests will say, what's your favorite cocktail or mocktail? And they'll be like, this. And like, great, we'll drink that or a variation thereof. But Iris said, well, I like floral flavors and what did she say? And tanginess?
And tanginess. Like, tartness, something like that. Yeah, and she specifically loved like rose and elderflower. Those were like her two favorites. But like anything floral. Yeah. So yeah.
Shéa, what did you invent your own cocktail in Iris of honor? In honor of Iris? As we learned when we interviewed Heather Harris, we make words come from fingers, not faces.
Yes, so I basically sort of created my own cocktail, but I chose elderflower because I happen to have elderflower liqueur. And I found a recipe online that someone had created called the Part-Time Lover. And I thought that was hilarious. And I loved the recipe because I also wanted to do something with tequila. Just because I don't know.
Tequila's delicious.
Tequila's delicious. I don't use tequila very often. I had a bottle of tequila, really good tequila. So this is an elderflower drink. It's sort of, I would say, similar in flavor to like a margarita. But the energy is emotional healing, self-worth, and positive vibes. It's 1.5 ounces of blanco or silver tequila, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. You can, squeeze it fresh at squeeze, or
What? We're both messed up.
I know, store-bought is fine. 1/2 ounce of elderflower liqueur, such as Germain. I actually upped that a little bit with the second drink because I felt the first one didn't have quite the elderflower that I wanted, so I did 3/4 for this one. The first time I used a white sweet vermouth and added like a splash of grenadine for color, but this time I actually had some red sweet vermouth on hand, so I used that. 2 dashes orange bitters, and you just place everything in a cocktail shaker with ice, shake it till it's icy cold, and pour it into a coupe glass. And voila,
So,
there you go.
what did you like the red sweet vermouth better than the white sweet vermouth with grenadine?
I think I liked the white sweet vermouth with grenadine better, actually. It was a little bit, I think, sweeter for me. So, like, if you like something more tangy and tart, the red sweet vermouth would be great. I think because with the white sweet vermouth adding the grenadine is sweet, so it added more sweetness. So, and also I think white sweet vermouth is just, it tastes sweeter to me. It tastes lighter and sweeter to me. That's just my perception. I don't know if that's actually fact, but yeah.
Well, I don't know, so I think it sounds like a fact.
But actually, either way, it's very delicious. It has this really light undertone of floral. It's tangy. It has this little bit. Oh, I did actually put a tiny pinch of salt this time because I was like, it really needs just a tiny, 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 tiny pinch of salt. And I put that in the shaker and gave it a shake along with that. And it actually added something.
I can't believe, ever since I saw this YouTube channel that I like to watch, Kevin Cause, and he always has his saline solution that he just keeps, and he puts like a little dropper of it in every cocktail almost, and the difference that it makes when I remember to put it in is amazing.
It's ridiculous. Like, because I tasted it the first time without it, and I went, you know what this needs? It needs a little salt. So I just put just a tiny little pinch into the shaker, and shook it really good again until it was super icy, and that was perfect. But yes, saline is easier because I just need to get a dropper bottle and start doing saline. We talked about the ingredients and their magical properties before, but elderflower specifically is for banishing negative energies. It's protection against evil influences. There's like emotional healing via the release of fear. It cools anger. It calms worries. It fosters self-worth, attracts positive energy, joy, and prosperity. And I was like, okay, that is a perfect vibe for Iris's magic and her books. So it's really delicious. Definitely has sort of a margarita-esque sort of thing going on.
Well, and from what I remember from when I drank lots of tequila in my early 20s, I definitely felt a lot of self-love and self-confidence after drinking it. Now, I love tequila, y'all. So I went with the rose flavor for my cocktail. And my cocktail, I don't have a name for it yet, but I'm gonna come up with some ideas, and I'm gonna put them at the end of the YouTube video. They'll be on our Insta, and you guys can vote on what to name this cocktail.
Yay!
And I need you guys to know it's the prettiest cocktail I have ever made in my entire freaking life. It is so beautiful.
Oh, y'all, when she sent me the photo, I was like, holy shit, it looks like a photo shoot. It looks like
we are messed up, and I haven't even had half a cocktail yet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks like a photo shoot. Like, it's just so pretty. I don't think I've ever seen such a pretty cocktail.
Thank you. So mine is gin based because, as we have discussed, gin is the best liquor. I like other liquors, but gin is number one. So mine has gin, and I'll put all the measurements and everything in the show notes. Gin, and then a combination of rose syrup and lemon juice.
Oh, okay.
So I made rose simple syrup by taking rosebuds and I was going to say marinating them. No, I put them in the simple syrup for a while. And the first time I did it, my partner was like, this is not rosy enough. And I'm so sensitive to floral flavors that I didn't want to overdo it. So I underdid it. So I'm still on the fence. And that's why measurements are not being vocalized right now. Because before this airs, I'm going to give it one more go to see if I can get the proportions a little bit better.
Okay.
But gin, rose syrup, lemon juice, 1/8 of a teaspoon of beetroot powder.
Okay.
That's the color. And an egg white, and then espumante. So everything but the espumante goes into the cocktail shaker. No ice. And you shake that baby for 30 seconds or so. And then you carefully take the top off of the shaker because you've created a lot of happiness in there with the egg white. I mean, you've seen maybe what happens when you whip egg white.
Yeah.
Coffee. And then you put ice in, and then you put the lid back on, and you shake it again, and then you struggle for the next 45 to 60 seconds to get the top off because it won't come off now because now it's sealed. And you're like, why won't this come off? And you're recording this for posterity.
Right.
And now you can't take all the vocals out of that because you're swearing at the shaker. and then you strain it into a coupe glass and you top it very slowly with espumante, which is Portuguese sparkling wine or bubbles of your choice. So, and then I garnished it with rosebuds. Dried rosebuds, and it was so pretty.
So it's kind of like a French 75-ish situation, a little bit.
Kind of, but it's got the egg whites.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit different. That makes it a fizz. Although a traditional fizz is topped with club soda and not Prosecco or Espumante. But you know what? I do what I want. And I want Prosecco or Espumante or I wouldn't put champagne in there. Champagne you drink by itself. So we've talked about gin, we've talked about the lemon juice, we know what simple syrup does, but roses are used to attract love, enhance beauty, promote healing, they boost your confidence, they raise your vibrations, and they enhance inner peace. Egg white, which is not something we've talked about
no, we haven't.
before. And eggs magically can bring forth a lot of good energy and abundance, but they also can be used to banish negative energy. And there's whole egg rituals out there, y'all, that you can do for magical banishments.
I did not know about the banishments. I knew about some other, interesting egg rituals, but, I did not know you could use them for banishments. Ooh.
And they're obviously a fertility symbol.
Yes.
They have such duality. The egg whites can bring this abundance and protection. And then beetroot, even though I didn't use very much, I wanted to look it up because also we don't talk about beetroot.
No.
And beetroot is, it's a root vegetable, so it brings a lot of grounding and balance, but also because it's red, a lot of red stuff is associated with love and abundance. So the energy of this cocktail ends up being abundance and love and self-love and protection and healing. Because you got that gin and that lemon juice in there too. You've got so we both made very much love yourself cocktails, which is perfect. Because why is that perfect?
Because we're going to talk to IRIS BEAGLEHOLE about magic, real magic, and self-love.
Yes.
Ooh. So, shall we go talk to her?
Let's go. I have to go to New Zealand. Be right back.
Be right back.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to welcome Iris BEAGLEHOLE to the pod today. Iris is many peculiar things. A writer, researcher, analyst, druid, witch, parent, and would-be astrologer. She loves tea, cats, herbs, and writing quirky characters. I have been low-key stalking Iris for a while.
Samesies.
On Insta. And I don't know how low-key it is. It's pretty. I think it's low key. I don't think she knew until this moment
Until this moment
about
that
the
we were
stalking.
stalking
I
her.
had no
No.
idea.
Please don't sign off.
I mean, because I will say we both were in strong agreement when we first started the pod. Like, lo, these many years ago, like one, two, I don't remember when
One
we
and a half.
started. One and a half. We're like, you know who would be awesome? Iris Beaglehole. She would be
Oh.
awesome. So, yes, we have been wanting to chat with you for a while. So, I am going to ask you the most important question you will probably ever be asked on any podcast
Or anywhere.
or anywhere, probably in life. Do you have a favorite cocktail?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked. So when people ask me this, I usually go for something that is floral and that is tangy and that
Mm-hmm.
preferably has like elderflower or rose
Mm,
or something like that in it.
mm-hmm.
So that's what I'll look for on a cocktail menu, or if I'm somewhere where they don't have something like that, I'll usually ask for it, and they
Mm-hmm.
can usually make something which is part of the magic.
Yes. Ah, I love that because that's exactly what we did. Usually someone gives us a specific drink, but when Amy sent me the brief, I was like, oh, yes.
Brief.
I know, the brief. I make it sound so, like, professional. It was like, Iris likes these things. Okay. So I made it's called the Part-Time Lover. And
Ooh.
it's essentially an elderflower margarita with only it's got like some vermouth in it, so it's just basically tequila, vermouth. I put in a tiny bit of homemade pomegranate syrup, grenadine just for color, and
Mm,
lemon juice and elderflower. It's
beautiful.
delicious. It is very tangy and floral. And Amy, what did you create?
I have a as yet to be named fizz that I invented specifically for today. Um, I will I will name it after something that comes up in this conversation. But it's gin and rose syrup and lemon juice and egg white and topped with Espumant.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
awesome. I
And it's
love it.
beetroot for color,
Oh,
but only a
they
little
both
bit.
look really good.
This was so fun.
It was really fun. It was fun to like do something a little bit different and like have to experiment and create our own thing.
Mm. Mm.
So exciting.
The
Shea
mixology
is
magic.
Exactly.
super into kitchen witchery
I am.
Oh,
and does a lot of cocktail magic.
I do.
So this is totally her jam.
Mm-hmm.
And she's slowly converted me into somebody who will invent my own cocktails as well. Um,
Ah,
and it's
beautiful.
been quite the journey. So
yes. It's been a lot of fun. And of course, I'm like we have to do cocktails for our podcast, so we have an excuse to make cocktails, right? And they go with witchery and books and everything. I just love it. So
Absolutely, they're potions.
exactly, that's what I like. Oh, my boyfriend will come down and be like, I need a potion because for creativity. Do you have something for creativity? And I'm like, I've got many things for creativity. So it's a lot of fun.
speaking of journeys, why
Mm.
don't you tell us a little bit about your author journey?
Sure. So I started writing Cozy Witches in about 2020. I had been writing a whole range of things before that, some more paranormally things and some more kind of like women's fiction with kind of spiritual themes. It was actually during the lockdowns that a bunch of friends were really interested in writing something really cozy. And I've I've been a witch for a really long time. And so when they were saying let's write like cozy witch novellas, I was like, "Oh, this sounds really good." And I started. And I just haven't stopped since then because it just
Awesome.
I love it because I can incorporate all of the magical things that I've
Hmm.
been learning about for my whole life, and I can dive into mythology, and I can kind of I also love that, when you're creating something cozy for people, you're
Hmm.
creating a really nice, relaxing, kind of nourishing experience that there can also be
Yes.
lots of deep things going on in there, but it can also be like quite gentle and not too dramatic when we live in a world where there's just so much stuff all the
Hmm.
time.
Yeah. Yes. That's how I kind of feel about that. Like the whole cozy paranormal witchy vibe. It's so nourishing to the soul, both to write and to read. It's like I call it my subversive little fiction. Because people don't know that they're getting all cozy and lovely and then they're learning something magical. I just love it.
Yeah.
So that's you also more recently put out some nonfiction books about
Mm.
witchcraft, and which is I've been reading Awakening the Wild Witch, and then also I just started your course. She also has a course about
Shadow.
how to like sort of like get in touch with your own magic, right, and kind of do shadow work and that sort of thing. Obviously, you've kind of worked some of that magic into your fiction, but kind of tell us how it came about that you're writing your fiction and then you decided to do like some nonfiction about the same topic, really.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when I first started writing a book when I was about 20 years old, I wanted to write nonfiction, but
Okay.
I was 20 and I was trying to write a self-help book about how I'd kind of drawn on magic and spirituality to
Yeah.
recover from depression.
Mm.
And nobody really wants to read a self-help book by a 20-year-old. At least I felt so much like cringe, I think the
Yeah.
word is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, maybe I can write fictional characters who are like drawing on this wisdom so it's not me. Because it was
Oh.
really just self-consciousness.
Sure.
It took me a long time with writing to feel really confident. Um, and then it was like the year that I turned 40, so I'm like going to be 42 this year. The year that I turned 40, I just had this inspiration that I was like, oh, I'm going to write a book about real magic, and it's going to be kind of for my fiction readers, but it's also going to be a whole lot of other stuff. And then it just kind of poured out like all of the stuff that I've been learning about for so many years. There's a lot of astrology and kitchen witchery and like how to create
Mm-hmm.
magical things yourself. Like,
Yeah.
because I feel like I don't like formulaic kind of like spell books where you have to get these
Oh.
particular ingredients. I feel like it's magic is a creative
Mm-hmm.
process.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I started doing that, and then in the process of doing that, I ended up also getting quite interested in writing about like the magic of self-love because
Oh,
that was a
yes.
really big part of my journey. So I ended up writing nonfiction about that too. And I think it's one of
Yes.
those things that everyone tells you you have to love yourself, but like how?
Yes. How? Yeah.
Like I've
Yeah.
been learning about that for a long time.
Same. Same. I started learning about that I was probably about mid 30s, and I'm in my early 50s now, and I'm still learning. But the older I get, the better it gets. So, just,
Yeah.
the more you love yourself and the less you care about what other people think. But yeah, I love that because like even though I'm a baker, that I love to bake, so which is very formulaic. You have to really know what you're doing if you're going to start substituting things, or things could go very wrong. Um, but that's what I love when I started doing the cocktail magic. That's what I loved because I was like, well, I don't have this, so what can I use instead of that. And some things do go a little awry, at least as far as flavor goes. But the intention is always, I love that it's always the intention, of mixing that
Mm.
up. So I love that you talk about, like I was reading through a passage last night, and you talk about like how we are creating magic all the time, whether we know it or not. It's just what we're, and I just love that. Like I didn't even, I guess I kind of knew that, but I hadn't really thought of it in that way. So it was like a really kind of an aha moment. And it was really cool. So
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us like sort of like what you think about that, about how we're creating like sort of unconsciously all the time.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I have quite a magical approach to understanding the world because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's so much mystery. There's so much that we don't understand. But what our minds try to do is create a really simple story.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not scientifically very true either. Like, pretty much everything that we think is solid is actually mostly space.
Yeah.
Like we don't actually ever touch anything scientifically. Like we live in this extremely mysterious world, and yet there's something in us that wants to make everything very kind of certain and limited, and yet there's so many possibilities and so much, like for example, the way that we think and the way that we talk about ourselves and the stories that we tell about our lives, that's shaping our whole experience of reality.
Yeah.
So if we have a story about ourselves that we don't like, it's sometimes there's like something stuck there,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be interesting to figure out how to shift it because you can't just kind of go, "Oh, I'm just going to think happy thoughts," because that doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
You kind of have to figure out, it's like pulling weeds in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you kind of have to get down to the root and there's some kind of pain underneath it. There's some kind of like childhood thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like there's things around the outside of it. So yeah, I think a lot of like when I say we're always doing magic, it's just mostly accidental. It's
Yeah.
because we're always creating the story about our lives and about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like every moment that we're conscious, and we have actually a huge amount of influence over that. But to change it and to shift out of our default way of thinking and seeing and um, telling the story
Mm-hmm.
requires to do a whole lot of different things. It
Yeah.
requires a whole lot of experimentation often to figure out. But it totally shapes, and there's quite a lot of evidence that I love evidence as well because I feel like
Yes.
spirituality and,
We're
and woo-woo
science
stuff can get
girlies.
really,
Yes. We
yeah,
love
it can get,
science. Yeah.
me too. Yeah, because it can get so ungrounded and you can
Yeah.
get all this really like spacey stuff. And I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
I find it unhelpful when I feel like there's a lot of spiritual bypassing that then doesn't really get the results.
Right. Yeah.
I want the results.
Yes.
Um, but there's a whole lot of evidence to show that like people who identify as more lucky because they're kind of in that kind of mindset, if there was an experiment that where they did a test to see how optimistic or lucky they felt, and then on the way out there was money on the ground,
Uh-huh.
and the people who identified as more lucky noticed the money that was on the
Ooh,
ground.
money. Yeah.
And the people who didn't notice it because their focus was so narrow.
Yes.
And so they weren't open to the opportunities. So
Right.
there's a whole lot of amazing research on like the nocebo effect and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, wow, like if you get given a lucky charm and you go into a test, you're going to do better even if you don't believe in lucky charms.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Because somewhere in there, there's like, well, maybe it works. And
yeah, there's something going on there that we don't fully understand it, but there are all these subtle things that are
mm-hmm.
shifting reality all the time.
Yeah. And it's so
I
wild.
got given a lucky charm
Did you?
when I went to the a new Officina de Bruja opened. It's the witch's laboratory. I'm pretty sure is how that
Ooh.
translates. down the street. And so I went there and I bought some candles and a couple other things. And when I was getting ready to leave, she's like, "Oh, here, take one of these charms." And she gave me a lucky charm. And it's like this little pouch and it has a folded up bay leaf
Ooh,
and a little gold 4-leaf clover in it, and it's all tied up. And so I'm like, oh well, now I should be carrying it around with me.
you should be everywhere you
Yeah.
I just
go.
remembered.
Stick it in your bra with your with your magic
Oh,
rocks. Yeah.
I'm not putting it in my bra because it's gonna be scratchy.
I have a friend that puts like crystals in her bra because
That
she's like,
friend is not me.
it's someone else, and she's like, yeah, it just is an easy place to store them, and that way they're always on me. And I'm like, I think hers are a little bit smaller than that. You didn't whip
I don't actually have big boobs. I just have
There's
crystal
just
balls in
giant
them.
crystal balls. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh God, oh yeah. I love that. I love that because I've sort of like there's that quote and I'm totally blanking on that dude that said it, like some old white dude, but he said whether you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right.
Oh,
Yes, it's a
yeah.
racist old white dude. But I know who it is.
Yes. Unfortunately, yeah, probably. But he was right about that. He was not right
He
about the
was.
racism, but he was right
No,
about
or
Yeah.
that.
the anti-Semitism.
Oh God, no.
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yes,
But he was right about
but
that
he
one
was
thing.
right about that one thing.
Even a stopped clock is right twice a day.
That's absolutely true.
Well, it's like that saying, argue for your limitations and you get to keep them.
Yes.
Oh, that's a new one. I hadn't heard that one, but that's like, whoa. I don't want to keep my limitations. I don't like them. Oh, that's
So
great.
you said that as a young person, that you wanted to write your self-help book as a 20 year old about using magic to get through depression. So that leads me to believe that this has been a path you've been on for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
So kind of what started you down that path? Were you raised that
Well,
way? Is that the traditions you were raised in, or?
no, I grew up in quite an academic kind of atheist sort of family. And I was immersed a bit in our Indigenous culture in New Zealand, but
Mm-hmm.
that was not my culture because I'm not Indigenous, but I definitely grew up around that, and I feel like that was probably quite an influence on me, and I think that's probably one of the things that unconsciously led me towards like connecting with pagan traditions because I felt like that was more like my ancestral traditions before they were colonized by
Mm-hmm.
religion and imperialism and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
on. But when I was a kid, I got really depressed. I had a lot of trauma. Yay!
Yay,
A
trauma.
lot of, yeah, I had a lot of psychological trauma for the most part, and I didn't realize that at the time. I was just very depressed, and I was quite drawn to spirituality, even though I didn't really grow up with that as part of my family. And when I was a teenager, I discovered that I could be a witch, and that was
Mm.
very exciting to me. And so I kind of immersed myself in anything I could find, which wasn't really a lot at that time, especially in New Zealand, but just
Mm-hmm.
I was just ravenous for it. I was going on like Netscape Navigator and looking up witchy stuff and
Good old navigator.
Yay!
yeah,
Oh, those were the
yeah.
days.
Yeah, and I managed to find a counselor who was also trained as a Celtic shamanist, which was
Oh,
amazing.
that's so cool.
So when I was 16, I was going to spending an hour a week with Fiona, and she was taking me through like journeying, like meditations and introducing me to spiritual literature that I was so ravenous for that kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really aware of a lot of the trauma stuff at that point.
Yeah.
But I would just knew that this was helping with my depression. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it was a whole big journey from that and to finally kind of addressing all of this childhood stuff that was just I mean trauma just stays in your body.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
really
And,
does.
it really does. Like I
and there's
thought I
deeper
dealt
and
with
deeper layers.
I thought
Yeah,
I dealt
exactly.
with
And
it
I
all.
thought I told
And then, doing all of this, I mean, I knew I was a witch fairly young. I didn't label it till later, and then I didn't actually follow it deliberately until much later. But yeah, there was like I thought I dealt with the trauma, but now the more I dig, the more like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is still bothering you. You still need to deal with this. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
There can be just so many layers of
Yeah,
it, right? Like
yeah.
the last couple of years, I've just been on this really intense deep dive into trauma and perimenopause, which has been amazing,
Yeah, my gosh.
which is partly what led to the shadow work course. But
Mm-hmm.
even since then, I've gotten into younger and younger layers. And I feel like I'm finally kind of emerging from the underworld, from my
Mm-hmm.
like like very young infancy trauma stuff. And
Wow.
it's so beautiful to be able to do that and to be
Mm-hmm.
able to hold your younger self at like all these different levels and attune to yourself the way that you probably didn't get all the attunement and care and love that you needed because
Yeah.
nobody actually knew how to parent.
No, especially not, those of us in the Gen X who had like boomer parents are,
Oh yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah, I'd
it
say
was,
Gen X and
yeah.
elder
No, elder
millennials.
millennials. Yeah, same thing. We pretty much all have either boomer or silent generation parents. And
Mm,
yeah, it's like it was a different world.
yeah.
They didn't either know about trauma or they didn't realize it was trauma. They didn't
No,
realize the
nobody
trauma.
knew about it.
Yeah, there was we didn't really know about generational trauma. We didn't know about a lot of things. And on the one hand, they were doing the best they could, and then sometimes, and then on the other hand, it was like trauma city, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it was only in the 70s that they started researching like war PTSD and they didn't want
Mhm.
to use the word trauma because they thought it was
No,
weak,
yes,
with soldiers and stuff. They were like,
yeah,
oh no, we can't.
can't.
They'll just say they're shell shocked.
Shell shock,
And then
yeah.
it's only recently that people have been discovering that it's not just like a war or a serious attack or something
Mm-hmm.
that stays in the system. It's like anything that doesn't get processed out. And yeah, there's like generations of people who are we've all been affected by generations who have been in wars
Mm-hmm.
before us, but
Yeah.
also like the dominant parenting ideology for like the whole 1900s was basically just leave babies. Just like try not to spoil them
Yeah,
because
don't
then
spoil the
they'll go
Yes.
babies.
bad or something. So just
If you
don't
pick them
kill
up when they
them,
cry,
don't attune
they'll
to
get
them,
I
like
know.
weak.
which is absolutely what we need. And like the way that we evolved in like nomadic, very tight-knit societies, babies were being carried all the time and
Right.
they were being rocked all the time, and
Yep.
everyone was so integrated. And
Yeah.
every time there was a shock to the tribe, there were rituals, there was all of these things that we're now calling nervous
Right.
system regulation. There was
Yeah.
chanting and humming and coming
Mm-hmm.
together and processing. And we just lost all of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that I'm saying everyone should be wearing their babies all the time because that's like so exhausting. Like, who can do that? I don't
Well,
know.
they had a
But
whole
there's just been
village.
such,
Yeah, they had a whole
yeah,
village to pass the baby around.
exactly. Exactly. And I think that's like so much of where we're going wrong is this
Mm-hmm.
really individualized, like so disconnected kind of
Yeah,
society that we're in.
and I feel
Is that attitude pervasive in New Zealand? I know in the United
it is
States,
in the United States, but
individualism and
yeah.
exceptionalism are prioritized so much, especially in white um, Christian, Protestant specifically cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed since I've moved to Portugal that there seems to be a lot more emphasis on family and community groups here. And I'm
Mm.
wondering in New Zealand, is it's that individualism, is that something that seems disproportionate to what the needs of the community should be?
Yeah, it's probably not quite as extreme as in a lot of parts of the States and a lot of yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
and definitely in like Māori, like our indigenous communities, there's a lot more kind of collectivism and focus on like whānau, which is like extended family and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's like all over the Western world, there's such a individualistic focus
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, and it's
But
hard.
it's
I would
nice
like
to
to
hear
speak
there's more
English.
community in Portugal.
Yeah, that is nice. And I think that what I'm seeing this a lot in online spaces with women, especially, again, elder millennial and Gen X women, are like starting to build these matriarchal spaces and these community
Mm.
spaces. And more of us are reaching out. Like, I have, I mean, we have our coven that we started doing rituals together. Even and Amy will be in Portugal coming through the laptop, and we'll be over here and so I think the need is we've clearly recognized that need, and we're trying to build toward something better.
Yeah, absolutely. And same here. Like, and there's lots of beautiful community things that are happening in like different pockets of it. And I love
Mm-hmm.
like going to my women's full moon ceremonies and just
Awesome.
like being in this group of women of all these different ages and experiences. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like
That's
it's such a beautiful
fantastic.
thing to be
I
part of.
love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Um, I would love to do some of those things. All right. Oh, okay. So the book, going back to your fiction a little bit, I read it was the very first one that you published, and I apologize. I think was it Accidental Magic or? Okay, yeah, I got it right. Woohoo! I just remember one of the things I remember the most is the nutty mayor of the town. Just bananas. And then I love the witch that lives out in the forest, and her little spoon that keeps stirring in her magical little garden, and this cozy little town. I just love. There's some nutballs in that town. But so obviously you incorporated some magic into that, and then that wasn't enough for you because you wrote another series and then another. I can't keep up with you. It's so great. So do all of your books, like, do they all sort of, are they all connected? Is it all the same world, or?
Yeah, I think all the ones that I have published under yeah, under Iris Beaglehole, which is a pen name. It's a family name, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
pen name. Um it's actually a Cornish name because I have a lot of Cornish heritage and
Mm.
yeah. And yeah, all of the books are in the same world at the moment.
Uh-huh.
So there is some crossovers, like characters will like appear in
Mm-hmm.
different series. I kind of like that. I feel like
Yeah.
as a reader, I find that satisfying.
Same.
So yeah, the Accidental Magic's part of the Myrtlewood Mysteries. Each book
Mm-hmm.
is based on a different seasonal festival. So it sort of starts at Imbolc and then it
Mm-hmm.
goes through all the different seasonal festivals. And I've been celebrating the seasons for a long time. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many ways you can do it. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
part of a Druid Grove where every now and then I will volunteer to lead a ritual, co-lead. We usually have a
Mm-hmm.
couple of people, and it's such a creative process. So, say it's the
Mm.
autumn equinox, and you kind of go, okay, well, what is it about the autumn equinox that I really want to focus on? And
Mm-hmm.
there's like the balance between light and dark. So maybe we'll get light and dark cloth for the altar, and then we'll have some scales, and then we'll bring, what it like, it's
Mm-hmm.
really like such a process to kind of come up with what the working is going to be like, or what kind of meditation you want to
Uh-huh.
bring in. And so it's kind of fun to bring that into the books. And
Yeah.
sometimes I find there's this overlap where I'll end up like for in my Myrtlewood Crones series,
Uh-huh.
there's the winter solstice, and the crones end up like rolling around in the mud because they're in the swamp, the swamp being symbolic of when
Yeah.
you're in like the swamp of
In the
life,
muck.
but
Yeah.
also you can kind of enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up writing a meditation based on that scene
Oh,
that I
that's
then used
awesome.
That's
when I
awesome.
was running the winter solstice for my grove with some friends, and I like got everyone to like roll around in the muck in the meditation.
That is awesome. I love that. That's so great. Like, I have had people ask me, are the spells in your books real? And I'm like, well,
They could be.
I mean, they could be. Like, they're not necessarily, I don't necessarily do all the, I put a lot more ritual into my books than I probably do in real life because I'm kind of a eclectic sort of a little bit lazy. Like, I just like to do my thing, and like, so I don't bother rhyming words. I do that for the books, but I'm like, it's about intent, man. If you do that spell with intent, it's gonna work. So yeah, they're not my spells, but they're, I mean, anything's real, right? Just how you create it. So, but I just love that you're inspired by by your fiction to make it real, and then by reality to make it fiction. It's so fun, that
Yeah, yeah, I've
process.
definitely done the other way around where I've already written a meditation for
Mm-hmm.
like Samhain, and then I'm like, oh, I can bring that into the Samhain book and
Yeah.
put that into the ritual that I need to write. It's like
That's
multi-purpose.
amazing. I love
You
that.
just celebrated Samhain.
Yeah,
I'm
you.
good.
Yes,
I'm good at
yes.
my
Although I
Southern
was I
Hemisphere
was
holidays.
away. Yeah, I was away, so I didn't get to go to my Grove Samhain. But then we had a really beautiful full moon
Oh,
ritual
nice.
just actually closer to the date of Samhain anyway. So I felt like I did get to celebrate Samhain, and I brought like the bell that used to hang in front of my grandparents' house, like on their
Oh,
doorbell. I brought it
cool.
along and like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, it was good.
That's so
Oh,
cool.
that's so cool. It was so funny because, like, we have to remember when we're talking about, like, various, when we're talking about Beltane or whatever, that, like, the opposite is being celebrated on the other side of the world.
No,
So,
I feel like I'm always celebrating both at once because most of
yeah,
my readers are in the Northern Hemisphere. So
right.
I'm like, happy Beltane / Samhain.
And we've started kind of, well, we have some podcasts that are specific to, whichever uh, celebration it is, but then we try to put the dates for both hemispheres. We try to remember to do that. But of course, we also have to remember that Christmas is on the same day no matter what.
I know. I said that last year
It's
when
so
it was
funny.
Yule. It was Letha here, and we're talking about Yule, and I was like, "Oh yeah, but it's Christmas." And now, and I said it at least twice, and I know when Christmas is,
Christmas is
and I.
still in December, regardless of the hemisphere.
Yeah. So we
But
have
now it's
Christmas
just a
in the
joke that I
summertime.
have in my own heart that it is a
Yeah.
joke. Yes.
Yeah, so now it's our joke about how, in the southern hemisphere they celebrate December in
Yeah, well,
June.
There is no Christmas.
There's no
It's like
Christmas in
Narnia now. I
yeah.
had to say, I've been so impressed with the depth and breadth of information in Awakening the Wild Witch. Like, there's
mm-hmm.
so much information in there, and it's so thorough and
Mm.
detailed. And it's really fantastic to see this level of information that kind of covers like so much. You have astrology, and you have kitchen witchery and abundance magic,
Yeah.
and I like delectable magic. Is that what it's called? Delectable,
Yeah, kitchen
celestial,
witchery.
Okay.
delectable,
I'm not too delectable. Yeah.
bountiful, formidable.
I
And I
love it.
love I love how much information there is here. Like, my God, you have done a lot of
Yeah,
work,
the
and
alchemy of
impressive.
of the science and the magic. Like I love that when you start talking about alchemy, it's like, oh yes, we forgot. We always think it's some crazy nonsense from the medieval times or whatever, Middle Ages, Renaissance. I guess it was Renaissance, but yeah, I'm like, and like, but when you were like writing about that, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, and so I was just, this is so fun. This is totally up my alley because those things to me are not separate from each other, really.
So,
Yeah.
does this kind of represent 2 or 3 years, decades of information that you've been gathering and pulling together, or did you have to just do all these deep dives to put into stuff to bring this book to life? Is it a combination of both? Do you have like a file cabinet of just everything? Can I look at it? I mean, I guess I am
Yeah.
looking at it. I've got your book, but
Yeah, it is mostly it's stuff that I already knew so much about because I'm a huge geek for magic. Like I've just been studying magic all my life in one way or another. Like even when I was very immersed in academia for quite a few years, I was very interested in things that I considered magical. I did a lot of sociology because I was trying to understand what people the weirdness of people
Uh-huh.
and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think so like all the astrology stuff, I've been studying astrology for a really long time. The structure of the book kind of came to me based on the structure of the Myrtlewood Mysteries, because the names of the books, I was like, oh, they would make good chapter names. So they're the
Yeah.
same. There's a bit of a
Yeah.
mirror there. So then I kind of was just like, oh, so obviously this chapter's about astrology and this chapter's about food and
Of
but
course.
yeah, a lot of it is like it's stuff that like it was when you kind of already got all of the information and it can just sort of like compost enough to be ready to kind of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes, I love that. That's like the best feeling when it finally gets it's peak compost. Yeah, love it. And you're just like, I'm ready. You have to
Yeah.
noodle. You have to noodle over stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I think I discovered that when I was like writing a thesis, I was like, I feel like I'm not being productive, but I realized it was because there was a lot of unconscious stuff happening. And then when I was
Mm-hmm.
ready to write, I would write. So I've learned not to try to get myself to write because then I feel like I'm pushing against a brick wall. And instead,
Yes.
I try to follow the path of least resistance and go, what do I need to compost to
Mm-hmm.
break down? What needs to percolate or like bubble in the cauldron?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can then be in the place of being ready.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be ready by like hitting my head against a brick wall or being mean to myself or
Right.
trying. Sometimes that trying is that constriction and there's like trying to have control over things actually gets in the way of the flow. So
Mm-hmm.
my creative process is a lot about how do I just not do that and open up to flow as much as possible. And then everything kind of, it's like that book poured out of me. Like I think I wrote most of it in the space of a month or
Wow.
oh
two.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Wow. Yeah. I
that's
mean,
bananas.
fiction I get, but doing nonfiction like that is like, wow, that's amazing. So it was really ready to, it was just ready to come right out. That's
it
amazing.
took a long time in editing though, because I write a
Yeah.
lot by dictation. So
Oh, yeah, me too. That's always fun. What is like the most interesting or weird sort of research that you've done, either for your fiction or nonfiction? Anything you've written.
oh gosh, I don't know. Like what counts as unusual? Like
Sometimes it seems perfectly normal, the things we do as authors.
I guess one of the things that I did a really deep dive into a couple of years ago was this thing called existential kink.
Yes, I
Oh,
have that book.
yes, yes.
I
Renee
mean, I have
Rose
a
talks
book
about
called
that
that.
all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I got Renee into it.
Oh yes, you're the one that got Renee. Yes, okay.
All comes full
I
circle.
also have that book somewhere.
Yeah.
And
So
I started to read it, but I wasn't in the right headspace for it, so it's
no, do
percolating.
the audiobook. Definitely do the audiobook.
Oh
Even if you're
yeah.
not an audiobook person, she's got a great voice and
Oh,
it's
okay.
so engaging in audio. It's quite dense to read, but it's amazing in audio.
Yes. Yeah.
So I just the reason that it's like I just did a really deep dive on that and I ended up training to do existential kink coaching and now I'm training to do IFS somatic therapy.
All the things. Like, I mean, I
I
love that
love
though.
this.
This is one of the
This is
things I
so
love
fun.
about being an author and a witch is all the weird, kooky, wonderful things that we just get to dive into just because we feel like it.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's that weird, but I mean, existential kink is pretty weird because it's like right on the edge of like what is comfortable, what is acceptable, what is
Hmm.
taboo. Like, the idea that there is a shadowy part of you that is absolutely voracious for every experience you could possibly have, even when your
Hmm.
conscious mind is going, I only want the good experiences.
Yeah.
And how do you expand? Almost like your experience of consensuality with life,
Hmm.
with going, can I be open to this sensation that I wouldn't normally want to be open to? Because if I can experience it with openness, it's not going to be as horrendous.
Yeah.
So that's quite a interesting psychological kind
It
of
is. Yeah.
stretching to do.
Yeah.
And so Renee and I were in the same course with this
Uh huh.
because I got her into existential kink and we ended up in the same coven for the training program.
That's
Oh wow.
awesome.
Amazing.
All the authors that we talk to seem to be connected, not
Yeah.
just through us, but like
Yeah.
two
In
degrees
other
of
ways, it's
separation.
so cool. I
I
love
think
it.
authors can get quite good at networking because we're so solitary. Like, and
Mm.
we want to be able to talk to other people who understand why it would be possibly interesting to talk about like POV or like tense or like, like this stuff
Yeah.
that nobody else
Right.
even really knows what you're talking about.
Right.
Or
And looks
yeah.
at you like you're nuts. And who also respect the boundaries because they're like, I too am an introvert. And so I can talk to you for this long and then we don't have to talk for another month or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, people you can talk to poison about without
Yes. Without
the
them
cop
turning you
calls.
in.
So, what are your plans for the rest of this year? We're coming up on almost halfway through.
I know. I feel
So,
like the year just started. How did this happen?
I know. How are we
right?
in May?
Yeah. So, at the moment, I'm working on a co-write with Loretta
Fun.
Hignett.
Yes, we love
So,
her.
Friend
yeah.
of the pod.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of that. We're having a lot of fun with that, and it's good. I haven't done this kind of co-write before where you're like alternating chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
so it's cozy fantasy, and I don't know what we're going to say about it yet, so I won't say anything more about that.
Just look
But
forward to it.
yeah, but I just
Woo!
came back. I was just in Australia like a week ago, hanging out with her and
Oh,
her
fun.
family and seeing all the giant birds. They have giant birds over there, huge, enormous birds. And I want to write another Myrtlewood Mysteries. I know like I have
Mm,
so many readers who are like, when's the next one coming out? And I do want to do that.
cool.
I had to take a break because I was just doing so much. I had so much emotion that was
Mm-hmm.
coming up from my early childhood. I discovered things about myself that I had no idea that I didn't have a story for that. So I'm going to write about that too.
Cool. I love
I'm
that.
going to write a book. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to write a book about shadow work that's like part memoir, part self-help book, part mystery because it was a mystery. Like totally baffled me to
Mm-hmm.
discover some of these things.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so that's another project that I want to do. I have so many things.
I
I want to
totally
do
I feel like
understand.
another
typical.
cozy vampire book that's the my new vampire series that I've only written one book on that I launched last year
Hmm.
has a bit of an existential kink kind of vibe of like shadow work and like
Hmm.
because vampires in my world sort of feed on shadow, like they can get it from blood or they can get it from blood enchanted food.
Hmm.
So that's
Very
quite
cool.
fun. I also want to I have another nonfiction project that I want to work on with a friend of mine who's a naturopath
Oh,
and
cool.
like kind of so she's got a whole lot of other training. She's also done like somatic yoga and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Kind of want to do something with her, which is it's all about kind of embodiment because I feel like there's something like so powerful about connecting really, really deeply with yourself and with your body. And we're
Hmm.
so like kind of taught to disconnect from our bodies and
Yeah.
to hate ourselves and to hate our bodies. And it's
Yep.
like the more we can kind of get beneath that and like really tune in, the
Hmm.
better everything is and the more, regulated and the more like I feel like I'm a totally different person from the person I was a year ago just because I've done so much healing.
That's
But my
That's
amazing.
readers have been
fantastic.
really patient.
Nice.
It's changed my life. Like I had insomnia since I was a really young child, and I
Hmm.
don't have insomnia anymore. I've had IBS since I was 18. I don't have that anymore. I don't get digestive
Wow.
pain. I don't have chronic fatigue. It's like I'm
Yeah.
normal.
Great. I want all of
Well, what's
My
this.
that?
brain's
I'll
still
have some of
weird,
this,
but like my
please.
body,
My brain's weird, but my body's fine.
my body
I'd accept
works.
one or the other. I
I,
actually would prefer my body to be fine. My brain can stay all messed up. I'm cool with
my
that.
my
Yeah, I want my
brain
brain to be
is, yeah,
interesting.
yes, my brain is fine. I mean, well, it gets a little foggy these days with perimenopause, but yeah, my body really, I would like it to be much finer than it is because it's not fine. It's not happy.
Well, I am so happy for you, and I
I am
will have
happy
some
for
of that.
you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the course?
Yes,
Like
yes.
the
Tell
course,
us about the
you have
course.
more, do you have more than one available, or just
Yeah,
the?
so the shadow work course, Sacred Shadow Work is a longer course and it is very much about that sort of sacred descent into the underworld that based on the ancient Sumerian mythology, like Inanna, like goes down into the underworld and sheds everything. It's like you have to kind of grieve and let go and release a whole lot of things in order to go through that metamorphosis and that transformation. So it's really about that whole transformation journey of yeah, like all of the stuff that composts and breaks everything down and then emerging into like celebration and that kind of magic as well. So
Hmm.
it's like there's like a tarot guide in there. There's like a ritual and spell guide because I do feel like this sort of stuff is good to do what makes sense for you personally. So it's like
Hmm.
here are all the tools that you can draw on for your own path. And this is like guiding you in the journey into your own healing. And
Yeah,
then you can curate that in a way that makes sense for you.
absolutely.
And there's meditations in there. So it's really good for when lots of things are changing and things feel stuck and you know that you need to kind of, I don't know, dissolve into goo like a caterpillar and a cocoon and then totally reform and then emerge again.
Hmm.
And I do have another short course called Self-Love Magic, similar to the book.
Hmm.
And that's like it's just a short course, but it's like a nutshell of here are things that are useful if you want to like bring a practice of self-love into your
Hmm.
everyday life. And I want to do more courses because I just love sharing. Like I
Yeah.
love learning and I love sharing. I have a strong Gemini and Virgo Mercury influence in
Mm.
my chart. And
Hmm.
I'm always wanting to like find like my whole life I've been like, where is all the information that I can find? And then like make it useful for
Yeah.
people and then share it with them. Like
Yeah.
when I was like 16 years old and I was on the internet for the first time, I was looking up all the information I could about crystals. And then I had this gem index that
Hmm.
I was getting. Okay, so amethyst, this is what all these different websites say about amethyst. Let's put it into here.
That's
Oh my God, you
amazing.
made your little database.
Oh,
I
I love
did.
Oh,
it.
I
I
did.
a
love
Netscape
it.
navigator. I love that so much.
Oh, good old Netscape. Oh gosh. No,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
All of
I
this
love
is
it.
available on your website. And
Yeah.
I just popped over there and looked at the self-love magic course. And I love that it says, like, right there, when you stop abandoning yourself, everything changes. And that's such
Mm.
a powerful way to to look at the relationship you have with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
I just, as a young Gen X, mother, um, eldest daughter, white woman who grew up in the Protestant church, being able to think about when that abandonment may have started, and
Mm.
and looking back at that history is, how long have I abandoned myself? How long have
Mm-hmm.
I been on the back burner of everything else?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
how
yeah.
do, like, how do you stop abandoning yourself? Maybe I need
Mm-hmm.
to read that book, that course.
Yeah, me
I have
too.
the
Yeah.
book. And then how do I make sure that this doesn't happen to my daughter? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's not just, and Shay and I talked about generational trauma and generational joy. And I would like to pass on more joy than trauma up
Yes. Yes.
down my line. I
Absolutely.
mean, obviously, generational trauma, I can end a lot of stuff with
Mm-hmm.
me, but the generational trauma still bleeds through because that's how it
Yeah.
works with biology and
Mm.
Right.
epigenetics, shared history. But, like, just that thought, when you stop abandoning yourself, everything
Yeah.
changes.
If we've been socialized to be female, if we've been raised,
Mm-hmm.
as a girl to be a good girl, like even being a good girl, that's kind of a form of self-abandonment. It's like
Yep.
you only get approval if you fit into these parameters.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially if you're an older daughter, you often end up looking after your siblings,
Yeah.
looking after your mother, your parents. And that's how you get your needs met. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you get cared for. And it's like you learn to self-abandon in order to get care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a tricky thing to unlearn
Yeah.
because you take that pattern everywhere you go into every relationship and you go, maybe if I look after this person really well, then I'll get my needs met and then I'll be
Mm-hmm.
okay because you didn't have that attunement as much as
Yeah.
you needed yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like such a thing to kind of go, okay, let's push everyone else away for a bit. Let's not be focused totally on meeting other people's needs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure out how to meet our own needs and not abandon ourselves. So when the emotion comes up, and it's often these young parts of us that come up that it's like we're the rings of a tree. We've got all of these layers of our younger selves inside us.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever we're carrying that emotion from things that were hard in the past that haven't fully been processed, that's what kind of rises up. Like our nervous system gets triggered by something's happening. It reminds me of a time that wasn't safe or that wasn't okay. And that young emotion comes up and that imprint takes over, which is a
Mm-hmm.
survival thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like you're a fully grown woman and you've got a young part of you that's like taking over the driver's seat. And it's like, how do I, because it's interesting. It's like when those young parts take over, you've
Mm-hmm.
abandoned yourself as an adult. And
Yeah.
it's like, how do I get back into being myself
Yeah.
as an adult and hold that little baby and go, it's okay. Like, and that's what I'm actually creating a course about inner child healing at the moment. I'm calling
Ooh.
it Nurture Alchemy because that's been such a huge part of my
Yeah.
journey. And it's got somatic exercises, like really gentle in the body. Like, this helps to release grief, or this is good for like anger. Like, anger is super powerful,
Yeah.
like all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just like wanting to create something that, because there's one thing to go to therapy, which you might go to once a
Mm-hmm.
week at the most, and you have a bit of a chat, but that doesn't necessarily create the kind of wraparound care that you need to
Right.
really do that deeper healing. And there's all sorts of things like even having like a stuffed toy, like a stuffy or like a I slept with like it's like a hedgehog, but it's like a
Mhm.
hot water bottle. Well, like grief and old emotion is like frozen, like fear and stuff is frozen in your body. And so like actual warmth, like physical warmth can help to
Mhm.
like communicating with those younger layers of you and letting them know it's actually warm now. It's actually okay. It's safe. It's like in The Wizard of Oz where, it's okay, Munchkins, you can come out now. It's safe now.
Same. Oh, I love that. I can't wait for that course. That sounds amazing. We'll definitely put all those links in the show notes and make sure to check out Iris's website for her courses, for her books, both fiction and nonfiction. Get you some witchy
You
coziness.
do you social media? Like, should we send people to your Instagram, or do you have a Facebook thing
Yeah,
going?
I've got Instagram and Facebook. I try to put stuff on there sometimes.
All the links to
All the
find you
links
will
we will
be
put
in
there
our
for
show
sure.
notes and our YouTube description. Oh my goodness, this has been such a pleasure
It really
to talk to you,
has.
and I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us and work through our crazy time zone schedules. Because I think for you, is it 11 a.m. for you right now?
Yeah.
And I'm at
Yes.
Yeah.
four.
Oh,
That's why
we
I'm
live in the
drinking tea.
same day right now because it is just past midnight for me. So now it's Thursday for both of us.
You're in the
Shay lives in the
future.
past.
Well, thank you so much. It was really beautiful to come and talk to you both, and I had a great time.
And we're back.
Yay!
Did you
I
miss
missed
us?
us. I missed us.
I just love talking to Iris. She is so knowledgeable, and it's so fascinating talking to her. And definitely grab her books, fiction and
There's
non.
such a great resource.
Yes,
The nonfiction
the
books is
nonfictions
specifically what I'm
are,
talking about.
yeah,
Such a great resource, and she did so much work.
she did.
So much went into these.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
yes.
It's
And
ridiculously impressive.
And if you like taking courses and it's more helpful for you to have someone kind of walking you through the process, one of the courses, and the courses are really well done as well. And they're
Oh,
just
good
like,
to know.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're really, she does little videos and, things like that. And she has you, do little rituals and spells and things and to walk you through the process. I enjoy that sort of thing. And so it's been really interesting. And then her fiction is fun. It's super fun. And
It really is.
a lot of the magic she writes in, it's real stuff. Like she writes in a lot of that. And it's like, great. Check
Go
them
check it out.
out. Yoo.
Look at the show notes to find
Yes.
all her stuff.
So before we want to go, I want to tell y'all about a project that we're going to be supporting. It's called Arcane Awakenings. You can find it on Kickstarter. It's a urban fantasy anthology.
I sat there for the first 5 seconds you were talking about it. Going, what are you
What are
talking?
you talking about? What's hilarious here about her reaction is that Amy is part of this anthology. She has a story in the anthology. My partner
What's
also.
also hilarious is that we talked about this before we started recording. We discussed saying this, but
And she-
Shéa wrote it down and I didn't. Yes. Okay.
That's right.
Shéa's partner and
Yeah.
my partner also both
Yeah.
in this anthology.
Yes, but I'm really excited because there's I can't recall. I think there's like 17 different authors or something in this anthology doing urban fantasy stories. It's going to be up on Kickstarter. So
The link's in the show notes.
the links in the show notes. You can go and follow. As of this recording, it's in pre-launch. So you can go and you can follow so you can be notified when it goes live. I can't wait to support this Kickstarter and also maybe have some of the people who are going to be who are part of the anthology here on the pod to talk to them about the stories and the project.
And the Arcane Awakenings is all about that first spark of magic that comes into a character's life.
I
So
love
that's
that.
kind of where it is.
I
And
love that.
spoiler, y'all. It's a new series for me. So this will be the first glimpse of a new series that I'm keeping tight under wraps.
Ooh, now that is exciting. And in the meantime, check out our show notes for the links to Iris's books, to the Arcane Awakenings Kickstarter link, and of course to our blog, our Instagram links and our website.
Excited that we'd started blogging.
Yeah, wait. And of course the recipes will be there as well. And of course all the links to all of our
social media, all of the stuff that we've talked about today
Yes,
will all be in the show notes. At the end of the YouTube video and and our Instagram, you can vote about what to name my cocktail.
Yes.
Keep watching so that you can vote.
Be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to share, comment, follow, subscribe. Thanks for joining us today. We loved having you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.